Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins made a major roster announcement on Wednesday as veteran tight end Darren Waller was officially activated from the physically unable to perform list, marking a significant moment in both the player's career and the team's offseason strategy. Waller, who shocked the football world by announcing his retirement just 14 months ago, had been quietly working behind the scenes to regain football shape after joining the Dolphins in a trade with the New York Giants on July 1st. This activation signals that Waller is ready to contribute on the field after an extended period away from professional competition, and it has already generated significant buzz across social media platforms and sports networks. Dolphins fans have long admired Waller's skill set, and with him back in uniform, the team's offensive dynamic could shift dramatically. Analysts and commentators are now dissecting how his presence might change Miami's red zone efficiency and passing attack. Coach Mike McDaniel recently commented on Waller's progression, emphasizing that the tight end would begin practicing sooner rather than later, reflecting confidence in Waller's physical readiness and mental focus. At 33, Waller represents a blend of experience and proven skill that the Dolphins hope to leverage immediately. The timing of his activation is particularly relevant as the team prepares to close out the preseason schedule at home against Jacksonville on Saturday. For Miami, which traded away tight end Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this summer, Waller's return addresses a crucial positional need. The team's tight end depth chart now includes players like Julian Hill, Pharaoh Brown, Tanner Conner, Chris Myrick, and Hayden Rucci, but Waller's presence instantly elevates the group. Fantasy football enthusiasts and Dolphins followers alike are eagerly anticipating how Waller will integrate into McDaniel's offensive schemes in practice sessions leading up to the regular season opener. Waller's journey to this point has been unconventional but compelling. After a productive 2023 season with the Giants, where he recorded 52 receptions for 552 yards and 1 touchdown in just 12 games, Waller stepped away from football, citing a medical scare, a loss of passion for the sport, and a burgeoning music career. This blend of personal reflection and professional reevaluation underscores the mental and emotional toll that high-level football can exert on elite athletes. Now, with the Dolphins investing up to $5 million for his one-year deal, according to agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey, the stakes are both financial and performance-based. Waller's ability to transition back from retirement and immediately contribute on a competitive roster is a storyline that captures the imagination of football fans everywhere. Analysts will undoubtedly track his conditioning and early practices for clues about his potential impact in Miami's opening games. The trade that brought Waller to Miami carried interesting strategic implications for both teams. The Dolphins acquired Waller along with a conditional 2027 seventh-round draft pick from the Giants in exchange for a conditional sixth-round pick in 2026. From Miami's perspective, the trade represents a calculated gamble. They are betting that Waller's veteran presence, route-running expertise, and previous Pro Bowl-caliber production can translate immediately into contributions, even after a hiatus. For the Giants, the move provided an opportunity to recoup future draft capital while allowing Waller to pursue his ambitions elsewhere. The conditional nature of the picks involved highlights the uncertainty teams navigate in player transactions, particularly when athletes with recent retirements or injury histories are concerned. By securing Waller, the Dolphins are signaling their intent to compete aggressively in the AFC East, where every tactical edge is crucial against powerhouse teams like Buffalo and New England. Looking at Waller's career statistics, his body of work paints a picture of a player who has consistently delivered elite production when healthy. Over 86 games, including 63 starts, Waller amassed 350 receptions for 4,124 yards and 20 touchdowns while playing for the Baltimore Ravens, Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders, and the New York Giants. His peak came in 2020 when he made the Pro Bowl after hauling in 107 receptions for 1,196 yards and 9 touchdowns. Such credentials make Waller a legitimate weapon for the Dolphins' offense, particularly in critical third-down situations and red zone scenarios. His ability to create mismatches against linebackers and safeties adds a layer of strategic complexity that opposing defenses must account for. With the Dolphins seeking to establish a dominant aerial attack, integrating a veteran tight end of Waller's caliber could prove transformative for their offensive identity. The broader implications for Miami's offensive roster are significant. With Jonnu Smith no longer on the team, Waller immediately becomes the centerpiece of the tight end core, responsible for anchoring a unit that includes younger players like Julian Hill and Pharaoh Brown. Waller's leadership and experience are expected to be invaluable during practice sessions and game situations, helping to elevate the performance of the entire group. Beyond the statistics, his presence instills confidence in quarterback direction and offensive coordination. Teammates and coaches alike have noted Waller's professionalism and dedication, qualities that can set the tone for the locker room culture. Integrating Waller effectively will require careful game planning, but the potential payoff in terms of offensive versatility and production is substantial, and fans are eager to see the first glimpses of him in action. As the Dolphins conclude their preseason schedule at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the timing of Waller's activation becomes even more pivotal. Saturday's matchup offers an opportunity for him to gain on-field repetitions, adjust to in-game speed, and reconnect with Miami's offensive schemes. These games serve as critical evaluation periods for coaching staff, and Waller's performance will provide concrete insight into his readiness to start when the regular season begins. With the regular season opener set for September 7th against the Indianapolis Colts, the Dolphins face a short window to integrate Waller into practice rotations, timing patterns, and offensive communication. Observers will be scrutinizing not only his physical conditioning, but also his chemistry with quarterbacks and ability to execute assignments under pressure. Every catch, block, and route run in the coming days will carry heightened significance for both Waller and the team. The Dolphins' decision to activate Waller also has ripple effects across the fantasy football landscape. While some analysts might hesitate due to his recent retirement and time away from competitive football, Waller's target potential and red zone prowess cannot be ignored. Fantasy managers may view him as a high-upside addition for tight end positions, particularly in leagues that reward touchdown-heavy performances. However, caution is warranted. Integrating back into a fast-paced offense after a year off presents risks, and workload management will likely be a focus for the Dolphins' coaching staff early in the season. Evaluating Waller's usage patterns, target share, and red zone involvement in the preseason and first few regular season games will be essential for fantasy decision-making. His activation has already sparked conversations across forums and social media, demonstrating the lasting intrigue surrounding his career. From a broader narrative standpoint, Darren Waller's return epitomizes resilience and the complex interplay of passion, physical capability, and professional ambition in professional sports. Stepping away from the game only to return months later requires a unique combination of mental toughness and personal reflection. Fans and analysts alike are captivated not just by the on-field implications, but by the human story of a player navigating retirement, personal challenges, and a return to elite competition. Waller's re-entry into the NFL serves as a case study in career management, risk assessment, and the pursuit of unfinished business. The Dolphins' gamble on Waller represents a high-reward scenario, balancing the player's potential contributions against the uncertainties inherent in coming back after retirement. Waller's activation also reshapes the Dolphins' strategic approach on offense, particularly in passing schemes and red zone execution. With his ability to create mismatches against linebackers and tight coverage, Miami can diversify play calling and introduce more complex route combinations. Waller's presence also alleviates pressure on other receiving options, allowing wide receivers and slot targets to exploit spacing and coverage mismatches. Offensive coordinators will be able to design plays that leverage his size, hands, and field awareness, creating opportunities that were previously unavailable. For opponents, preparing for a Dolphins team with Waller on the field introduces an added layer of difficulty, forcing defensive planners to account for an additional high-level threat. Analysts will be monitoring how defenses adjust and whether Waller's integration impacts Miami's overall scoring efficiency and third-down success rate. Finally, as the regular season approaches, the activation of Darren Waller symbolizes more than just a roster update. It is a statement of intent from the Miami Dolphins. With a blend of experience, production history, and a renewed personal drive, Waller has the potential to significantly influence Miami's offensive trajectory. Fans, analysts, and fantasy managers will all be watching closely to see how quickly he adapts and whether he can translate his prior success into immediate contributions. The Dolphins, who have positioned themselves as legitimate contenders in the AFC East, now carry the added intrigue of seeing a former Pro Bowler return to action after a hiatus. As Waller takes the field for practice, preseason games, and ultimately the regular season opener against Indianapolis, the storyline promises drama, excitement, and a fresh layer of strategic depth to Miami's campaign. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Tyreek Hill's potential departure from the Miami Dolphins has sent shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill, igniting speculation and debate among fans and analysts alike. For months, whispers have circulated about possible tension between Hill and the Dolphins management, hinting at disagreements over contract negotiations, offensive schemes, or even the team's long-term direction. Hill, known for his blazing speed and game-changing plays, has been a cornerstone of the Dolphins' offense, drawing defenses and creating opportunities for his teammates. Yet, despite his on-field brilliance, insiders suggest there might be an undercurrent of dissatisfaction, possibly fueled by the team's performance in critical games or the pressure to evolve under a high-stakes coaching strategy. These murmurs have intensified as trade rumors have picked up pace, with multiple franchises reportedly expressing interest in acquiring one of the league's most explosive wide receivers. The uncertainty around Hill's future has become a hot topic on social media, podcasts, and sports news outlets, creating a whirlwind of speculation that is hard to contain. Fans are torn between hope that he remains a Dolphin and fear that he might be moving on to greener pastures elsewhere. Analysts dissect every move, from Hill's body language during press conferences to subtle hints in interviews, trying to predict the outcome before any official announcement is made. The narrative growing around Hill's potential exit has taken on almost mythical proportions, with some suggesting it could reshape the Dolphins' offensive identity entirely. Meanwhile, rival teams are reportedly evaluating how Hill could fit into their schemes, considering the combination of his speed, route running, and deep threat ability, which could instantly transform their passing game. The entire scenario has become a game of chess, with front offices, agents, and media outlets all maneuvering carefully, waiting for the first tangible sign that Hill's era in Miami is truly coming to an end. Sources close to the Dolphins claim that internal discussions about Hill's role and compensation have been ongoing for weeks, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty that has not gone unnoticed by the player himself. Hill, whose career has been marked by high-profile performances and highlight reel moments, reportedly values not only financial recognition but also the ability to impact game plans directly. Some insiders suggest that Hill might be seeking a contract structure that aligns more closely with his contribution to the team's success, a demand that could be challenging for Miami's management to accommodate under salary cap constraints. Rumors indicate that Hill's agent has been in discreet conversations with other franchises, gauging interest and exploring potential trade destinations that could offer both a competitive edge and a lucrative deal. The speculation around these negotiations has created a tense atmosphere in the Dolphins' locker room, with teammates aware that one of their offensive leaders might be on the verge of leaving. Social media buzz has only amplified the story, with fans dissecting every snippet of news, video, and quote to infer Hill's next move. Some supporters have expressed frustration at the uncertainty, fearing that losing Hill could derail the team's offensive rhythm, while others remain cautiously optimistic that Miami might find a way to satisfy the star wide receiver's demands. Betting markets have even reacted, with odds fluctuating as new information emerges, reflecting the public's heightened interest and the unpredictable nature of NFL trades. The combination of business, talent, and fan sentiment makes this situation uniquely complex, and each new rumor adds fuel to a fire that shows no signs of dying down. Hill's career trajectory and personal ambitions are now at the center of a narrative that has captivated the entire football community, highlighting the delicate balance between player satisfaction and team strategy. Every practice, press conference, and game performance is now scrutinized under the lens of this looming potential departure, making Hill's next steps one of the most closely watched storylines in the NFL. Amid all the speculation, some league insiders argue that Hill's departure could represent a strategic pivot for the Dolphins, potentially reshaping their roster around a different offensive philosophy. Sources suggest that the team might explore a variety of options, from drafting emerging wide receiver talent to shifting play-calling strategies to compensate for the possible loss of their star. This rumor-driven narrative has sparked intense debate among analysts, who speculate not only about Hill's next destination, but also about how Miami might restructure its offensive attack. The tension is heightened by the timing of the potential move, as teams across the league prepare for the draft and free agency, where every roster decision carries significant implications. Hill's status as a marquee player means that any change involving him could have ripple effects far beyond Miami, influencing the strategies of teams looking to counteract or capitalize on his skills. Fan reactions have been equally varied, with some expressing shock at the possibility of losing such a dynamic player, while others anticipate that a fresh start elsewhere could unlock new levels of performance for Hill. Even casual observers of the NFL are now closely following the story, intrigued by the mix of talent, contract negotiations, and competitive strategy that makes professional football so fascinating. The rumor mill, fueled by anonymous sources and off-the-record comments, has elevated this story to near-legendary proportions, keeping Hill's potential exit at the forefront of sports discussions. Meanwhile, Miami's coaching staff is reportedly weighing multiple scenarios, balancing the need to maintain offensive firepower against the financial and strategic realities of keeping Hill. Every meeting, negotiation, and media interaction is being analyzed for hints, contributing to a growing sense of anticipation and suspense that has become almost cinematic in nature. The drama surrounding Hill's future has transcended the usual trade chatter, becoming a defining moment for the Dolphins organization, a test of loyalty, ambition, and the high-stakes nature of modern football. Amid this swirling speculation, some fans are theorizing about the impact of Hill's possible exit on the Dolphins' chemistry and morale. Sources close to the locker room suggest that Hill's presence has not only been about his athletic talent, but also about his leadership, mentorship, and ability to elevate teammates' performance. Losing him could necessitate a shift in the team's culture, as new leaders emerge to fill the void and offensive strategies are adapted to suit different skill sets. Analysts point out that the ripple effect of such a departure could extend beyond the field, affecting ticket sales, fan engagement, and overall perception of the franchise. Hill's brand and media presence have become intertwined with Miami's identity, meaning his absence could alter the team's image and marketing strategy in ways that are difficult to predict. Meanwhile, other NFL teams are reportedly preparing contingency plans, exploring how Hill could be integrated into their rosters to maximize his impact while mitigating potential financial risks. Trade speculation includes considerations of draft picks, salary cap adjustments, and positional needs, highlighting the complex calculus that governs NFL transactions at the highest level. Rumors also suggest that Hill himself is weighing these factors carefully, considering both personal ambitions and professional legacy in his decision-making process. The scenario has become a chess match, with front offices, agents, and media pundits all moving pieces in response to leaks, hints, and subtle statements. Each rumor fuels another, creating a feedback loop of anticipation, analysis, and speculation that has transformed Hill's potential departure into one of the most riveting storylines of the NFL offseason. The uncertainty surrounding Hill's next move is now so pervasive that even casual followers of the league are tracking every development with keen interest. Insiders have hinted that a potential trade involving Hill could involve multiple teams in a complex negotiation, each attempting to balance immediate performance needs with long-term strategic planning. Sources suggest that some franchises see Hill as the perfect complement to an existing quarterback, while others might view him as a cornerstone around which to rebuild an offensive identity. Analysts argue that the dynamics of Hill's possible departure highlight the intricate interplay between talent valuation, salary cap management, and competitive ambition in the modern NFL. The story has grown beyond mere rumor into a multi-layered narrative, where the timing of announcements, public perception, and media framing could all influence the eventual outcome. Reports indicate that Hill has maintained a professional demeanor throughout, focusing on training, preparation, and performance, while letting his representatives handle the behind-the-scenes negotiations. This approach has added another layer of intrigue, as fans and commentators speculate about what Hill's outward calm might conceal regarding his true intentions. Meanwhile, the Dolphins' management is reportedly preparing various contingency plans to ensure the team remains competitive, whether Hill stays or leaves. The discussion now spans multiple dimensions: the immediate tactical implications for Miami's offense, the potential strategic gains for a acquiring team, and the broader narrative of player empowerment and contract negotiation in the NFL. Rumors about draft day maneuvers, free agent signings, and trade packages continue to swirl, keeping Hill's future a captivating mystery. Social media commentary has exploded, with every tweet and insider leak dissected for meaning, further feeding the rumor mill and amplifying the tension surrounding this potential high-profile move. Recent whispers from league insiders suggest that Hill's decision might hinge on factors beyond the field, including family considerations, lifestyle preferences, and long-term career goals. While performance metrics and contract details dominate much of the public discourse, these personal elements could play a pivotal role in shaping Hill's ultimate choice. Some sources speculate that Hill may prioritize an environment that aligns with his values, team culture, and the potential for postseason success, factors that often weigh heavily for elite athletes. Rumors also point to subtle negotiations over incentives, performance bonuses, and guaranteed money, all of which could tip the scales in one direction or another. Media commentators have speculated endlessly about which franchises could meet these criteria, with names constantly rising and falling in relevance depending on new reports and insider leaks. Hill's own social media activity has been carefully scrutinized, with analysts reading between the lines for hints of discontent, optimism, or subtle signals regarding his intentions. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are reportedly attempting to balance the desire to retain a star player with the realities of maintaining a balanced roster and financial flexibility. Rumors about possible trades, contract extensions, or off-season restructuring continue to evolve daily, creating a landscape of uncertainty that keeps fans, media, and teams alike in a constant state of anticipation. The speculation surrounding Hill's next move has now taken on an almost narrative quality, akin to a thriller unfolding in real time, where every new detail can dramatically shift expectations and outcomes. As the saga continues, the football world remains captivated by the potential end of Hill's era in Miami, wondering how and when the story will finally reach its conclusion. The intensity of the speculation surrounding Tyreek Hill's potential exit has sparked debates among sports analysts about the broader implications for the Dolphins' offensive scheme and league-wide trends. Insiders argue that Hill's departure could force Miami to rethink not only personnel decisions, but also its play-calling philosophy, with the coaching staff potentially shifting toward a more balanced attack to compensate for the loss of a deep-threat specialist. Observers point out that Hill's unique combination of speed, agility, and route-running precision is difficult to replace, making any replacement a challenging proposition. Meanwhile, other teams are reportedly evaluating how Hill's skill set could be maximized within their existing frameworks, considering the potential for immediate impact in both regular season and postseason scenarios. Rumors also suggest that Hill's decision may affect future contract negotiations for other players, as franchises recalibrate expectations for star wide receivers based on market dynamics. Analysts have noted that the uncertainty surrounding Hill has led to heightened attention from fans and media, with every practice, interview, and social media post scrutinized for hidden meaning or signals. The narrative has become a focal point for discussions about player movement, team strategy, and the evolving economics of the NFL, illustrating how one individual's career decisions can reverberate across the entire league. The speculation has reached such a fever pitch that even casual observers of the sport are now following the story with unprecedented attention. Hill's potential departure has become a prism through which broader trends in football management, talent utilization, and fan engagement are examined, highlighting the intricate web of factors that surround modern professional sports. Speculation continues to mount regarding the timing of any official announcement about Tyreek Hill's future, with insiders hinting that negotiations could extend into the later stages of the offseason, creating a prolonged period of suspense for fans and media alike. Analysts suggest that the timing may be strategic, allowing all parties involved to explore multiple avenues and maximize leverage in potential trade discussions or contract renewals. Rumors point to behind-the-scenes discussions between Hill's representatives and multiple teams, evaluating not only financial terms, but also opportunities for championship contention and long-term career development. Miami's front office is reportedly preparing for all scenarios, from retaining Hill under a revised contract to facilitating a high-profile trade that could yield valuable assets in return. This careful orchestration underscores the delicate balance between player desires, team strategy, and market dynamics that governs NFL decision-making at the highest level. The story has become a daily topic of conversation in sports media, with podcasts, YouTube channels, and social networks analyzing each development for significance. Fans are creating their own narratives, speculating about potential destinations, trade packages, and even the cultural fit of Hill in different locker rooms. Every leak, hint, or cryptic statement is magnified, contributing to a rumor ecosystem that thrives on suspense, uncertainty, and the high stakes of professional football. Hill's situation exemplifies the intricate interplay between talent, negotiation, and timing, illustrating why his potential departure has captured the imagination of the football world. Some insiders argue that Hill's rumored departure might catalyze a broader transformation within the Dolphins organization, prompting a reassessment of long-term strategy, roster composition, and offensive identity. Sources suggest that leadership discussions are ongoing about how to maintain competitive momentum, attract emerging talent, and adapt to the challenges of the salary cap, while potentially losing a marquee player. The ripple effects of such a move could extend beyond immediate roster adjustments, influencing draft strategy, coaching hires, and even fan engagement initiatives. Analysts speculate that Miami could leverage the situation to create flexibility, whether through reallocating resources toward multiple key positions or investing in younger, high-upside players who can complement a revamped offensive approach. Rumors indicate that Hill's professional aspirations and desire for a competitive, high-profile environment are central to his decision-making, with multiple franchises prepared to make compelling offers that combine financial incentives with championship opportunities. The story has generated a climate of anticipation, tension, and strategic calculation that mirrors the high-stakes drama seen in other professional sports markets. Fans are divided between optimism about new possibilities and concern over losing a generational talent, further fueling debates across social media platforms, talk shows, and sports commentary. The rumor mill surrounding Hill's future has become a powerful narrative engine, driving analysis, speculation, and storytelling that captivates both diehard fans and casual observers. The interplay of talent, ambition, and organizational strategy creates a multi-layered saga that extends far beyond the initial news, illustrating how a single player's choices can influence an entire franchise and, by extension, the broader league landscape. The ongoing speculation regarding Tyreek Hill has also triggered intense discussion about the financial mechanics underlying NFL trades, contracts, and salary cap management. Sources suggest that Hill's potential move could involve complex considerations, including guaranteed money, performance incentives, signing bonuses, and long-term financial projections that impact both Miami and any prospective acquiring team. Analysts argue that such high-profile moves illuminate the delicate balance teams must strike between rewarding elite talent and maintaining flexibility to address other roster needs. The rumor mill has been fueled by cryptic statements from front office personnel, careful social media activity, and media speculation, all of which contribute to the uncertainty surrounding Hill's next steps. Fans, intrigued by the drama and complexity, are dissecting every new development, from practice reports to subtle hints in interviews, attempting to predict the outcome before any official announcement is made. The story has evolved into a chess match of strategy, negotiation, and timing, where every action or statement is analyzed for significance. Hill's potential departure is now more than just a player move. It's a narrative that encompasses leadership dynamics, financial planning, competitive strategy, and fan engagement. Media outlets are tracking each leak, while insiders continue to provide tantalizing updates, amplifying the suspense and keeping the story alive. The interplay of talent, ambition, and business strategy creates a rich, multifaceted scenario that has captured the attention of the entire NFL ecosystem. Amid all speculation, some experts emphasize that Hill's next decision will likely shape not only the Dolphins' immediate fortunes, but also the long-term trajectory of his career and legacy. Analysts point out that moving to a new team could provide Hill with opportunities to compete for championships, expand his influence in different offensive systems, and further solidify his standing among the league's elite wide receivers. Conversely, staying in Miami might offer stability, familiarity with the coaching staff, and continuity in his professional development, albeit potentially with ongoing negotiations about role, compensation, and team strategy. The rumor landscape suggests that Hill's priorities may include balancing immediate competitive potential with long-term career satisfaction, financial security, and personal fulfillment. Social media and sports media have amplified every detail, creating a dynamic environment where perception, speculation, and strategy intermingle, making it challenging to separate fact from conjecture. The potential ripple effects of Hill's choice are significant, influencing draft decisions, salary cap allocations, offensive philosophy, and team culture for the Dolphins, while simultaneously impacting any team considering his acquisition. The saga continues to unfold in real time, with each new piece of information feeding fan debates, media narratives, and insider analyses, ensuring that Hill's future remains one of the most compelling storylines in professional football. Every new rumor, report, or strategic calculation contributes to a complex web of intrigue, making this situation a defining moment in both Tyreek Hill's career and the Dolphins' organizational narrative. Rumors also suggest that Hill's potential departure could trigger a cascade of reactions across the league, as other teams adjust their strategies in anticipation of shifts in player availability and market dynamics. Insiders indicate that franchises closely monitor high-profile situations like this to inform their own roster moves, contract negotiations, and draft day strategies. Analysts point out that Hill's unique combination of speed, playmaking ability, and deep threat presence makes him a coveted asset, capable of reshaping offensive schemes wherever he lands. Meanwhile, Dolphins management is reportedly considering a range of scenarios, from retaining Hill under revised terms to executing a trade that maximizes value while maintaining team competitiveness. Social media continues to buzz with speculation, fan theories, and heated debates, further amplifying the narrative surrounding Hill's future. Industry observers note that such high-profile player movements can influence league-wide trends, salary structures, and the perceived value of elite receivers. The rumor mill, fueled by both insider reports and public discourse, has turned Hill's potential exit into a multifaceted storyline that intertwines personal ambition, organizational strategy, and market forces. Every update adds nuance to an already complex scenario, keeping fans, analysts, and team officials in a state of heightened anticipation. Hill's next steps are poised to create ripple effects that extend far beyond Miami, shaping not only his career, but also the competitive landscape of the NFL. Industry chatter suggests that the ripple effects of Hill's rumored departure could also impact the Dolphins' approach to fan engagement, marketing, and overall brand perception. Sources indicate that losing a player of Hill's caliber might necessitate strategic initiatives to maintain enthusiasm among supporters, while also capitalizing on opportunities to highlight emerging stars within the roster. Analysts note that the narrative surrounding Hill's potential exit has become a magnet for attention, generating conversation across podcasts, social media platforms, and sports media outlets, creating a unique publicity ecosystem that benefits from suspense, speculation, and high-stakes drama. Meanwhile, rival teams continue to evaluate the competitive advantage that acquiring Hill could provide, taking into account not only his athletic skills, but also his influence on team dynamics and offensive versatility. The unfolding situation has created a real-time case study in the interplay between talent management, fan perception, and league economics, illustrating how a single player's career decisions can resonate across multiple dimensions. As insiders continue to leak tantalizing hints and speculate about trade possibilities, fans and analysts remain on edge, dissecting every development with meticulous attention. Hill's potential exit is no longer merely a personnel, that's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!